By spring, rapid top growth of the annual ryegrass resumes, and its roots stretch deep into the soil.
With this annual ryegrass, we had some of those feeder roots that went down up to 32 inches. So, you know, a person in general can just look at that and see that that annual ryegrass has created that root channel for that corn crop, let's say, coming in there, where it can send them feeder roots out and get down a lot deeper and find that moisture that, you know, may be crucial towards the end of summer.
It's a soil quality issue, you know, trying to improve organic matter, you know, trying to increase the soil tilth and you know, get the soil right so that so the soil's working for you rather than you working the soil.
In the spring, temperature is critical in the burn down of annual ryegrass. Glyphosate doesn't translocate well under cool conditions. For effective burn down, the temperature needs to be 50 degrees or warmer. As it relates to planting crops after burn down, you should wait 7 to 14 days after applying glyphosate. But if you're using Roundup Ready corn or beans, you can plant them into the ryegrass first, then spray the glyphosate when the temperature is warmer.
Burn down is very critical, and we've experienced great successes and some failures. From what I've experienced, I get too antsy trying to spray it off in the spring, and it need to let it warm up a little bit more, because usually we're trying to go in and spray it and kill it, and so we can plant corn immediately. So have a little patience with it, but be ready when it's time to go out and get it knocked down immediately.
Staying on top of it and you know, spraying the burn down today, be planning, scouting to make sure that you've got a good kill. That's all part of the management.
I guess the main concern still in guys' mind is the burn down on the annual ryegrass. Not a problem. We've had it for 6 years, and you know, we still have to reseed it. It's not growing back. We've even had a couple farmers that have tried the ryegrass that have had some problems with it. The main thing is we went in and killed it, and they don't have any in that field today. So as long as it's handled right, you know, a quart of Roundup we're getting by with here and not having any problems.
Growers will need to recheck their fields to ensure the annual ryegrass is completely killed. In situations where the initial burn down is sprayed in early spring and weather is cool, there may be a need for a second herbicide application to completely kill the annual ryegrass.
When burning down annual ryegrass to plant another crop into, then it's very important that you have the temperatures that will allow that herbicide to work. So in using glyphosate, 50 degrees Fahrenheit would be a minimum temperature for proper burn down. Ideally, even higher temperatures than that. That can be difficult to get during the spring of the year with planting, but if you don't have a good burn down, if you don't have a good activity of that herbicide, then you're often going to have failure or at least poorer stands in the crop that you're establishing into annual ryegrass.
You can't just spray it and assume that it's going to be killed. Certain products like Roundup, temperature sensitive. If it's cool and cloudy, you know, it may not get 100% kill. Also, if we're using Princep for residual control, it's worked pretty well as long as we've got moisture to activate it.
With good management, annual ryegrass can not only add to a corn-soybean rotation, it can also be used as a valuable forage crop. This allows growers who have dairy or beef cattle to graze the ryegrass in the fall and spring, or to take a cutting of haylage in the fall and spring.
Now, if you think about annual ryegrass, and it has all the attributes, with the advent of better genetics, better varieties, and they're improving each year, I think we're going to continue to see an interest in annual ryegrass in the Midwest as livestock producers look to capitalize on the merits of that crop. Annual ryegrass has a very high yield potential. It also has a very high quality potential. It's routine to see excellent average daily gains among stockers. We get 1.5 pounds to over 2 pounds a day on stockers. Gains per acre are good. Even as an annual, we can see gains of 250 to well over 300 pounds per acre. So it has excellent quality potential. It's a very versatile crop in that we can use it for conservation purposes, for turf, and for forage. Even as a forage, we can use it in a versatile way. It can be used for pasture, hay, silage.
Dr. Lacefield says that for dairy and beef cattle producers, annual ryegrass is a high-quality, high-yielding forage that can be established quickly and easily across a wide variety of soil types. He notes that annual ryegrass as a forage works best in a rotational grazing system.
From the standpoint of grazing, I think there's several things that we need to keep in mind if we're going to graze and graze efficiently. First, it comes to the fall. If we can get annual ryegrass in early, perhaps after corn silage, and get it in early enough that we get some growth on it, then we can graze it in late fall and very early winter. But caution is advised, because if we do it prematurely, we can do some damage to the stand. I like to top graze it. I don't like to take it in the ground during that period of time. So be a little cautious there in the fall. In the spring, I like to almost reverse that. And when we have that lush growth coming on in the spring in a rotational grazing program, if we don't get started pretty early, we get behind and the quality can start getting away from us. So we may start on some of those paddocks a little bit early and then get in a rotation and rotate rather rapidly. But I do like to rotate the annual ryegrass. We can start grazing and graze that when it's 8 to 10 inches growth, graze it back down to about 3 to 4 inches and move those animals. We're getting that product at a very high quality state.
Growers using annual ryegrass as a cover crop believe it pays off with improved soils, weed suppression, reduced incidence of soybean cyst nematodes, more effective use of nitrogen, deeper root systems, and most important of all, increased yields for corn and soybeans.
For the most part, what we're looking at is improved soil structure to increase crop growth and rooting, and eventually to increase yields, or at least stabilize yields and stop the up and down yield variance due to weather.
In the end result, this gives us a lot better soil structure, soil health, air and water movement, and ultimately what the farmers are interested in is yield advantage. When we can get these kind of improvements to the soil quality, then that equates to economics and increased yield potential for that soil.
As far as corn yields improvement, we're seeing on a dry year anywhere from maybe 30 to 50 bushel increase. The plant health in a dry year is just greatly improved by the ryegrass because of those deep roots. It can get that moisture when it needs it. Soybeans, we're seeing maybe up to a 5 bushel increase, just depending. Somewhere around 2 to 3 bushel a lot of times, up to 5 bushel on that. So once again, just the plant health and eliminating a lot of the disease problems that we have because of that, and we can increase the yield that way.
Growers and livestock producers interested in learning more about the benefits of using annual ryegrass should contact the Oregon Ryegrass Seed Growers Commission or visit the website ryegrasscovercrop.com.